Well, hello and welcome to Material Musings today. So I have got quite a way with some of these projects and I would love to show you them and some of the things that I've been doing. I also want to show you a little technique in the way that I did this word, so we'll do that at the end. And I'll show you some other ways in which you can create your words and use them in your projects, in your stitch projects. Okay, so we'll go through this one first. So this particular piece was taken from, the inspiration was taken from one of this that I created, and it's in my Etsy store. Now initially I'd created them as colouring pages, but then I was thinking, oh, I wonder if you use them and put fabric in place, how would it look? So this is the first trial. So what I did was just use one piece of fabric for the hair, even though it's split up here. And what I did instead was use the stitches to mark out, okay, well, that's the lock. And so I'm going to do this again. I'd like to create this again, but change up the fabric and see what effects I would get. And then for the hat as well, rather than do separate fabrics for that, I mean, I could have gone in and stuck them in and then did some really fine stitching, but I used the thread, and I could have gone in and done, say, different types of stitching in the space, but I'm quite happy with the way that that turned out. The other thing that I'm working on is I want to put a face in there. So because this fabric is quite bold, the black and the white, and it's hard to get contrast in, well, I guess I could use a coloured thread, but I am going to go in and add some different types of fabric and see how small a stitch I can get in this space. And the other thing I did was I just did some straight stitches across this fabric, because I was going to leave it blank, but I'm changing my mind in terms of adding some additional things to it, and then next time trying some other fabrics as well. So I added in a load of stitches. I think the last video I'd painted, this had been painted, let me just move these here. So I'd painted this fabric, it was black and white, and I painted it blue, and then I've gone in with mushroom stitching, and again, because of the bold fabric, the stitches are quite faint, and I guess it's only when we come in and we look at it then you can actually see, oh yeah, there's some stitches there. So that's what how far I've got with this one. And what I want to do is, as I say, do the face. So next time you see this, we would have done the face and maybe put a backing fabric in there, taking it to the final stages. I had put just this is another just kind of, it's like a polyester type embossed fabric that I've just put at the back, just to give it a bit more weight. And I've started stitching in here, and I'm thinking just to carry on and do all of that. But yeah, that's this one. So if you have one of my digital downloads, or you've got another digital download with some kind of bold shapes, you can maybe try and do that with yours. So I do want the face and the earrings. I've still got a bit of work to do on this, but I'm gonna get on with that. Okay, so that's that. I am working on this piece as well. So I had initially wax resist and then done some stitches in this piece, and I was bringing it towards the end and found this fabric which I really like. Has the backing, and all I'm doing now is going round and doing some stitches, and I may add some beading. I'm feeling some beading, some seed beads around the edges, so we will see how we get on. So yeah, what I'm doing with this so far is pulling this together and sewing all of that up. So again, that's another thing that I'm going to work on. And where I've added additional stitches in black just to kind of define everything a bit more. I didn't want to go over the wax resisted space. I just wanted to add additional kind of highlights that this is a figure. And the next step for this one is stitching around the edges, finishing that off, and identifying some beads. I probably will go with brown, but I may go with a contrasting colour as well. I may use some bugle beads. We'll see how we get on. But that is where I'm at with this one. Just kind of moving everything gets moved along a bit more. And this one is a larger piece that I've done, and you would have seen it last time. I hadn't done the backing, so this is the backing fabric, and then I've gone in with the border, and at the back I'm putting these tabs so that I can put a wooden dowel through there. So I've just got to do that piece, and then it's ready to receive the wooden dowel. But I love the fabric. This was an item of clothing, and I really like the fabric. It's been tie-dyed, as you can see. But it just went really nicely with the work that I did on the front. So when I add those bits at the top, the tabs, then it will be ready. It should be ready, and I'll just need my little, I usually have like a little fabric tab at the back with my name. And yeah, it's feeling as if it's where it needs to be, where it wants to be. I can't feel any more stitches wanting to come into this piece, so we step back and we just kind of sit with it for a bit. The only thing that I can think of is maybe some beading, like I'm again feeling beading around the edges, so we'll see how that works out. Yeah, but that's this piece. So don't be afraid to do larger pieces. I had done this in stages, done a lot of the wax resist, and created the image and the patterning around it, and then painted. So this is all kind of ink that's been painted on, and then I've gone back in and done some additional stitching. So that's that piece. And the last piece that I was working on, this has been taken quite far, and I had decided to add both back-ins, so I might need to add another one. I really enjoyed the stitching around it, and I like the contrast in terms of the stitching, the thread. So what I wanted to show you was the way that I did this wording. So I had stitched the wording on a white fabric, and then it was stitched on here. And you'll be able to see, because we've got a bit of fraying, but that kind of fits in with the piece itself. It's like, it's fine for me. So as you can see, so you've got the word journey, and then you've got like an outline. So the word was done in purple first, and then I've just gone round with a black thread. And so that's a nice way to be able to make your words pop if you need to, or just give it an extra feel. And the other thing I did was add some seed beads in this kind of, again, the mushroom thread. It's one of my favourite threads. And I've just gone around it with the same thread that I used to go around the word in, and then gone in and done all of the additional stitching. So yeah, there are places here where it's frayed a bit, but I don't mind that look. You can, one of our viewers suggested there's this product you can spray on the fabric and it stops it from fraying. So that's if you've got a piece that you're working on and you've got that issue, then that's something that you can do. So I wanted to show you just a couple of ways in which you can do your wording or make your wording look different, as opposed to, you know, stitching on the piece. You can stitch several. So I've cut these up. So all of these words, I did them with an embroidery hoop and stitched them. So you can do them in different colours like that, or you can find fabric. So this fabric is the same as this, and I've done a few words on them, and I'm going to be stitching them. And so you've already got a nice kind of background with the painted fabric, and I've just got a few more here that I'm gonna work with. And then I've just taken even some of the scraps you can take and do a word on there in maybe a bold colour. So the way to do this is fairly straightforward. I've got this word love here that I've already stitched. Now on the L, I went round it in a pale blue embroidery thread, but it's not as bright as it looks once it's around the word. And so I'll just come in quickly and you can see. So I've surrounded this, used backstitch around the L with the blue, but because it's white and then the very pale blue, you don't really get to see it very well. So I thought I would do it with this kind of maroon colour, go around the words and see how it looks once we've finished. And what you're doing is you're going around the outside and the inside and just doing backstitch. So let's get going. So as you can see, I've just gone round 2 of them. So this has got the light blue, these have got the red. But it does make a difference when you use a contrasting thread, and obviously you can be a bit more, I think some of my stitches kind of have overlapped, but it doesn't matter if you're creating for your, you're creating for yourself. So, you know, nobody's going to be counting how many stitches you put there, or that one wasn't quite straight. But yeah, I think it does definitely have a really nice effect when you maybe use contrasting threads to just make the word that you may have added, make it pop a bit. So there are some ways in which you can use the words that you stitch. Stitch it on a large surface, and then I started cutting these up before I'd even decided, but I can still go around the words as I want with when they've been attached to another piece of fabric, and then again you can take a painted piece of fabric, or just this is upholstery fabric, and you can add some words to these, so I can then cut this out and add this as a nice piece on a larger art wall hanging. And yeah, I've got all of these now that can be added and used and worked on. I can add this particular one and add it to this, and then do a similar sort of thing, and then outline the words. Maybe we'll look at that for next week. I might try that. Yes. And these little stitched words are very therapeutic as well. So this is a nice activity if you just want to, you know, I don't want to make something specific, let me just do some words. So these are nice ways that you can do it. Find some fabric that you like and stitch on it, or stitch on a plain bit of fabric and create some words, or paint your own fabric and add the words. And this piece again is similar to, as I would have showed you last week, this is the image that's on my Etsy store. You can colour it in any colour you want, you can add your own features, that's why I left it kind of blank, and then you can add it to your art journals, and as well you can cut out the fabric in the same shapes and stitch them, and you can have some really nice effects. So I'm going to be using this one again and using different fabrics to see how I get on. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this piece, and the next stage for this will be the final backing and the borders. Should we just see the projects again? So this one just needs its tabs. This one and maybe some beadings. This one is going to have possibly some beadings. I'm really feeling the beadings now. And this one needs its backing fabric, and we're going to define the face a bit more on here. So still quite a bit to get on with, but it's nice to be sharing them with you, and I hope you've been inspired to maybe do something of your own, and I'd love to see how you get on. And now we have the chorus of dogs. It's the motorbikes that they respond to. I'm just so glad Cole, my dog, doesn't respond in the same way. Anyway, so take care for now, and I'll see you next week with some more exciting projects for you to look at.